Let her rip, Tater Chip.
Thank you, Mike. How y'all doing? I was talking, but I was on mute. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Yeah, yeah. I guess everyone's gonna jump on. Usually it's about 5 after 7 before they all clicking in.
Look at all the eager beavers we have tonight. That's
Right?
I tried to log on at 6 o'clock. I couldn't remember whether it was 6 or 7. So,
So you've been
but
hanging around a while.
yeah, I have. I was getting lonesome too.
I know. I missed the scavenger hunt, but it looks fun. Looks like y'all had a good time.
We did have a good time. The weather was perfect. That's a pretty
Yes.
cool place out there.
I enjoyed it. I went last year. This year I had my two and a
Oh,
half year old
yeah.
granddaughter. Yeah, so we didn't go, but I added a couple of pictures for the that matched the words today.
Yeah, yeah. She did a good job on those uh clues.
Right?
It's not like they were all right in your lap. You had to really look for them.
Oh, that makes it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
something like 60 images uploaded to that folder, I think.
yeah, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
I like it. I like it. It's so much fun to go look at what everyone's interpretation for the word was.
I slept late. I'm sorry. I missed it. Yeah, we
Oh,
got
I wasn't
70
sleeping.
photos. Y'all.
Wow. I uh I chased Josie around and then we went to my visit my mom, her great grandmother. So it wouldn't have been fun. I'd have been chasing her in the field instead of taking pictures if I'd have brought her. Maybe we could talk Emily into a fall one.
At the
Sometimes we do
same
a spring.
place.
Oh, I bet
Oh
we
well, I don't
can.
mean wherever she wants to do it. Sometimes we do a fall and a spring if time allows and schedules allow and all that.
Yeah.
We went to Tammy and I met up at Kazan this morning. I really thought I'd see more roseates. There were a few, but only one nest kind of open. But let me just tell you, I had forgotten. I hadn't gone late in the year for the egrets in a couple of years. Those big chicks get aggressive with their mama. That was
Ooh,
something to
what?
watch.
Barry and I went
Yes.
Friday. We only found one nest of spoonbill chicks, but we see several
Yeah,
with
that
eggs.
was,
Several with eggs, so we're going back in a couple of weeks. But
yeah,
man,
yeah,
those older
right.
chicks, so it's amazing they don't poke their mama's eyes out.
I don't know how they get aggressive. It is crazy to watch. That was something to see. There was a guy named, his last name was Bush. Because we got there and Tammy goes, there's a lot of people here. She said, I think they let the nursing home
Old
out.
people.
Yeah, she said, I think they let the nursing home out. And they were older, but it's this guy, his last name's Bush. He does
Charles
photography
Bush. Charles
tours.
Bush,
Oh,
Julie.
it's Charles. Okay.
Yeah, he has a photo hanging in Lake Martin thing. He's a long known nature photographer.
Well,
He
he told me he was. He told me all about himself. He was a nice gentleman. It was fun to chat. And then after I talked to him, I think I met him about 3 years ago out at Kazan. And you know how it comes back little by little? I'm like, wait, that sounds familiar. But yeah, he had because we were like, oh hey, where y'all from? New York. Oh hey, where y'all from? Wherever. I'm like, well, God, you come from far. But they were all on his little tour, that he was doing. So it was nice. We had a good day. Good morning.
So all the old people were out there.
They were- they- you had to be a senior citizen to go on this tour today, but we were just clowning. Because she got there before me. She said, "Girl, I don't think they let the nursing home people loose today."
I met him in Jefferson Island, probably when I first started doing nature, and
Uh-huh.
he was a big inspiration. He talked to me about a lot of things, and he showed me a bunch of stuff at Jefferson.
Oh,
We met up a couple of times out there.
he's
Yeah,
a very nice guy.
but
Yeah.
that was probably 8, 10 years ago, and he was an older gentleman then. But yeah, he's always led tours. He has a website, and I think
I
most
found him
of
on,
now on ground. He doesn't do the big boat and things like
he
that.
don't do that anymore. Yeah. I yeah, I found him on Facebook and because I was curious and he was asking me questions, where you usually go, which I usually see, how you get there, all that. And then he was telling me, I was like, oh, where are you from? And then he finally said, I lead photography tours. I said, well, that explains why people are from so many different places all at once over here. I was wondering how that happened. And it was all because of him. He brought them there to take photos. They were having a fun day.
So is it like $20 every time you go? Is there a fee
25.
to 25?
It's
Okay.
25. They they have a little envelope with ink pens and a little drop box. You can pay your money and fill out your little form when you get in.
I see.
And then there's a little
Safari.
code. It's a code to get the gate to open.
Yeah. Once you reach, you go 5 times. You've done reach the annual membership, and you don't have to pay any longer. So if you go 5 times,
But
they consider
right.
that an annual membership, and it used to be you had to pay ahead the annual membership, but now they allow you to go, and if you end up paying up to 5 times, you don't have to pay. That would be 125 for 5 times,
Right.
and you don't have to pay any more after that.
I see.
That's good to know. I didn't know that.
They
Yeah.
just
I usually
that
go
year.
I think 4 times was my max I've ever gone. It's just to find the time to get there.
And is it usually like this time of the year that everybody goes? Like, is this
Starting the
the
beginning of
time?
February, starting the beginning of February, and probably for the next couple of weeks, because those roseates and some of the egrets are still sitting on eggs.
I see.
Oh, still, wow.
Yeah, yeah, the late comers. They must be late bloomers.
Julie, did y'all see the ahingas? I couldn't find their nest the other day.
I couldn't find them today. I didn't spend a lot of time looking for them, but
Yeah.
I could not find them. And I had found the woodpecker hole last time, and with all the vegetation grown, I couldn't find that either today.
Hmm.
So that would be a no for me. They might have all fledged. I don't know. I do think I haven't been there since the end of March, though. It's been a hot minute since I had been there.
Yeah, that's whenever you and Ruth and I went, huh?
Probably that was probably my last time there. Unless if I went one more time with Tammy. Maybe Tammy, Seymour and I went one other time on. Sometimes on a Monday we'll get together because we're both off.
Yeah,
I'd have to go look at my
the end of
folder of pictures.
it was the end of March. I don't remember what day exactly though.
Oh, okay, that probably was the last time. Mhm. Oh, what's that one you almost stepped on the snake?
I think that was that last time.
Yeah. I got a picture of that snake.
Julie almost ran over those people today though.
Well, so they were in the middle of the gravel road, and the other side was a big, tall ditch. I wasn't going off with the ditch. I almost knocked them with my side mirror, but I was going very slow.
Yeah, they were literally in the middle of the road with their tripods, and we both had to pass, and nobody moved their equipment.
They looked at me and waved me through, like, you can make it. I'm like, okay, watch your toes.
That's a big truck.
I know.
Wait.
We had no injuries, so it worked out okay. So we have 11 people here. Might be all we're going to get.
That's good.
Yeah, 11's good.
Let's roll.
Hey, Tammy. Hey, Robert, you there?
I'm here.
Okay, somebody's got their TV on in the background. So you want to start and maybe tell everyone about how we decided to assign numbers to
yeah,
take
that's
turns
fine.
and break it down? Okay.
Okay. So I did get about 14 pictures, I believe, which was great. Thanks to everyone who sent some pictures in. So what I did is I renamed them as starting with 0 all the way to 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. And I kind of mixed them up a little bit. So we kind of have, as we go, we're going to have a little variety. You know, we might have a landscape, we might have a PJ, we might have a bird, we might have a black and white. So that way it's not all, you know, the same one each time we go. So what Julie and I and Carrie kind of talked about today is we want everybody to critique, if you would like, one time on each picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give everybody a number. So if your number is number 1 and you want to critique, you do. If you don't want to, then you just say pass and number 2 will go. I think that way I'll kind of keep it. We felt like that way is going to keep it in order. And everybody's going to have a chance. Correct? Am I saying that the right way, Julie?
I think so. It's just that way we'll follow number order. So we're not all trying to talk at one time. And that way each person gets a chance to say any kind of comment or critique they like on the image. Keeping it short and sweet so we can cover a few images. And then if we have time, we can come back and break it down further if y'all so desire. So does everyone kind of understand how we kind of like trying it for the first time? So y'all, did we make
That's a
sense with
great
that?
I think it's a great idea. Yeah. To
Okay.
keep it a little organized, like you said, not everybody trying to talk at the same time.
Right.
Well, that sounds good. Okay.
Okay. And then the other thing was, I also want y'all to consider when y'all looking at these pictures, I did get them all in different sizes. So some of them might be a little off or whatever, but I'm thinking that it could be from the size of them. Although
Right.
as they came in, I did save them as the biggest size I could on with it. You know how whenever you go to save things, they'll give you like 3 or 4 different suggestions, and I always saved it as the biggest size, hoping that would help. If it, I don't really know if it's gonna or not because this is the first time. And you know, also when you email things, a lot of times they compress things. So you know, I think if we see something a little wonky or doesn't look right, it could be possibly from the email or the saving. You know, that's the only thing I could think of. I mean, Julie, anything other than what I'm saying?
Yes. Well, sometimes I think whether you're emailing it, definitely if you're sending it over Facebook or any other kind of social media, it'll get compressed sometimes and it changes the quality of the image. So if something looks a little wonky, that's probably what happened, and we can just skip or try again on that image. That's what I think.
Okay. I just want everybody to know if y'all see something, you know, please say something, you know. I think they all look pretty good. There was maybe 1 or 2 that I wasn't too sure about, but I left them in there. You know, everybody can look at them. And so all this is anonymous as well too. Everybody that sent it in, I sent a thank you, and that's why I renamed everything so we could kind of go in order, and that way nobody knows whose picture's who. But of course, I think as you see the pictures, you're gonna think in your brain, "Oh, I bet you Tammy Simon did that one. Oh, I bet you really did that one." You know, because it's true. Or Miss Claudia. Oh, I bet you Miss Claudia did that. You know, things like that, because we kind of learned how people their style. So you know, it's okay if we do get, but we're not going to say who we think they are. We're just going to think that in our mind. I think it'll
Okay.
be fun though to kind of guess.
Probably so.
Yeah. So I guess what we can do now is I just wrote everybody's name that's here, and I'm going to start with a name, and I'm going to give you a number. Okay. Nobody's in order, nobody's whatever. I just wrote numbers down, and that will be your number. So everybody's talking, don't know number one. I guess when you talk first, I guess you can say number one, and then that way the next person, if you pass or you say you critique, then when you're done, the next person can pick up because you said number one, so they'll know it's number two. That sounds good?
Yes, that sounds great. Thank you.
All right. So Thomas is going to be number one. Perry is going to be two. Billy is going to be three. Lynette's going to be four. Tammy Seamoss, five. Mike is going to be six. Melanie, seven. Carrie, eight. Julie, nine. And Debbie is going to be number 10.
Okay, so just so I heard you correctly, Carrie with a K is number 8.
Yes, that is correct.
Thank
That's,
you.
I was gonna ask the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Carrie with a P is
Carrie is
number
number
2.
2 with the P.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I'm just trying to say my number over and over so I remember it.
Julie, and I have them written down. So if we know which number's next, I can tell you. So Julie,
Okay,
you're
thank
number
you.
9. Debbie's number 10.
Okay.
Okay, so I can share my screen when y'all let me do that. And
Oh yeah, I think you should be able to just share it, huh?
oh, maybe so. Yeah. Okay,
I
let's
think
see.
so.
All right, let me see where it's at. All right. Okay. Can everybody?
Yes.
I'm doing it in the I don't know what I guess the photo viewer. So
Yeah, it looks good.
It looks good. Okay.
Mhm.
So number 1.
Thomas is going to pass. He's just listening right now. Thank you.
Sure. Number 2.
Who's number 2?
Number 2 is Harry.
Harry.
Oh, okay, Parry.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me see. Can you still hear me? I'm just trying to
Yes.
figure out. I'm looking at my phone. Okay. It's very pretty. I like it. I like that it's kind of off-centered, like I guess, what would you call that? Is that like rocks or?
Oh, you like a peninsula? Yeah.
Yeah, I like how it's off-centered. I think personally, for me, that it's flat. I would like a little bit more contrast, but I think it's really nice.
Okay, so
I'm
number
done.
3. Thank you. Number 3.
What I'm seeing, the color saturation on the right half of the picture is a lot better than on the left side. It looks like the left side, the ocean kind of blends into the sky. I said that wrong. I'm not a good critiquer, but it looks like where the rocks are coming out of the water, and then the countryside is got a fuzzy blue look to it. It's I don't know. It's not, I don't know, sharp as the contrast on the right. That's I guess that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay.
Number
Beautiful
4,
picture, though.
Lynette.
Okay, well, I'm assuming this image would be entered in pictorial and not nature. I guess it could go either way. If it was entered in pictorial, the maker might want to go in and remove all the telephone poles and the cars that you see way in the background. But if it is nature, I guess you could just leave it like that. That's my
Wouldn't-
opinion.
Okay.
Number 5, Tammy Seymour.
Okay. Well, and going on that, it couldn't be entered in nature with the phone poles and telephone poles and all of that, because that's hand of man. So I see if it wouldn't have that, if it was just a mountain, then I guess it could. But I just think the grass at the bottom is a little distracting. Maybe if it could be cropped off, but it's also the lighting's kind of harsh. I think it's more like a judge might say it's more of like a snapshot than like a competition image, maybe. It's pretty. I'd like to be there right now.
Number 6, Mike.
I like this. It reminds me of the San Francisco or the Oregon coast, but I suspect it's probably not. I agree with Tammy. I think as I look at it's got a great image. It's a great subject, but I would consider cropping all the way up from the bottom till you get all those foreground rocks out of the way and get all that grass out of the way. And then I would come in from the left to out just before the edge of the coastline. And then if you can mask with your software, I would mask the sky and give it a little, I would darken it a bit and give it a little contrast to make it pop away from the land. Because it was kind of a hazy day. But if you've still got nice leading lines out to the ocean from the top, right? If you crop the bottom off, about I'd say about 1/8 of the bottom, and then come in from the left about 1/4. That would be the only thing I would suggest, perhaps.
Melanie.
Number 7. Okay, number 7. I agree with everyone. Crop the grass out at the bottom. I would keep the rocks at the bottom because it does a leading line like nature. If you do the like instead of thirds, I forgot what that nature circle is for drawing your composition. And because it has leading lines with the way that the rocks are along the shore. But I think there needs to increase their saturation. Probably because it's a hazy day, you need to use the haze a little bit so it can bring in some blacks because it is a little flat. So increasing your saturation, increasing your blacks and maybe some slightly with the whites to so that you have a little bit more contrast. And I think it would be a really nice image, but I think it's flat. So blacks, whites, saturation, and increase your hazing and crop up a little from the bottom.
Thank you. 8.
I agree with Melanie. I do like the foreground, middle ground, background. I like the diagonal of the mountains. And I wrote down the same thing, dehaze, increased vibrancy, and blacks and whites.
Thank you. Number 9.
Oh, that's me.
That's you.
That's me. It is a beautiful image. I do also feel that it was a hazy day. Increasing the contrast would bring it more to life and give it more interest. I do also agree that at the very least, the grass at the bottom could be removed and it would be a stronger image with less distractions. It is very inviting and it makes me want to be there.
Thanks, Julie.
You're welcome.
Debbie, number 10.
Okay, I had to unmute myself. Yeah, it is a very nice image. I noticed, and I'm not sure this is 100% or it could be my eyes. I'm not sure the horizon is completely straight. I think the sky needs some work on it. Maybe go into Lightroom and use the radial gradient and work on the sky. It needs to have reduce the highlights in the sky for sure. A little dodging and burning on the interesting areas. Basically, for a competition picture, this was shot in the wrong time of day. to get the very best picture that you could. And I think we're all guilty of that. We're limited. We can't go out at night or in the evening or the sun or whatever. But it's a beautiful image shot at the wrong time of day.
Okay, so that's number one. So now we're going to move on to number two. Oh, well, that was zero. Sorry. One's the next one. Okay, so here's one. We're going to start again with Thomas, number one.
Pass.
Okay, and number two.
That's too long.
It's me. I'm sorry. I'm using my phone today, so I'm just kind of not used to unmuting myself. Um,
Who's next? She is.
I would say the eye maybe could be highlighted a little bit. Maybe just bring some pop to the eye. Maybe crop down just a little bit from the top. And maybe just a little bit more contrast. But it looks very sharp. It's a pretty bird. I want to see one of those. Okay. And that's it. That's all that I have.
Okay, thank you. So number three is Billy.
Yeah, I agree with the cropping. I would grab it at the top left and bring both left and top down just a little bit. The beak and the head and the neck seem to be a lot more in focus than the wings. I don't know if that was the intent. Well, probably was, but anyway, that's about it. The at least with my eyes, the wings look blurred. That's it.
Okay. All right, well, thank you. Lynette, four.
Okay. I like that the eye is really sharp and there's a lot of detail in the feathers. There's a little loss of detail in the bottom part of the bird's neck, where the white, where it's white. That's the only thing that really jumps out at me. My eye was kind of drawn to that little pink feather sticking out of his
That's
neck,
cute.
but it did really bother me at all. And I think it's a really good image. It's just those highlights right there in the white neck, which is so hard to do. Yeah, so that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Number
I was
five.
number four.
Yeah, I also agree that it could be cropped, especially the bottom, the darker pink. It's kind of drawing my eye. So if you could get rid of that, and the leaves are light on the left-hand bottom. So I would say just crop from the bottom and the top to get rid, like kind of hide some of that stick. That's about all I have. It looks sharp. That's it.
Number six. Thanks, Tammy.
I like the image. It's very difficult to get all the white detail in a spoonbill in their neck. That always is one of the hardest things to the shot. But you got the eye sharp in the beak, which is very good. To me, it looks a little bit like maybe your shutter speed was a little low, and he must have flapped his wings or been stretching because I can see the detail there, but the top half of that wing looks to be out of focus or blurred a little bit to me. The rest of the pictures, the composition is really good, and you got the main part. So I don't know, maybe crop till you get rid of the stuff you don't like, but that's the only thing I see. I agree with the other crops that other people mentioned.
All right, thanks, Mike. Number seven, Melanie.
You must be muted, Melanie.
Phyllis.
That's Melanie with an M.
Sorry.
Crop
crop the bottom to get away from that dark pink at the bottom. And then I would play with probably my curves. I would probably, or highlights, decrease highlights so you can get more details. See if you can get more details in the whites. And then also increase your black so it would give you a little bit more, sometimes it gives you more details. And so I would play with a little bit, you got to watch contrast. So I would play a little bit with my whites and blacks and curves and just see if you can get your colors to pop. And then you can also go to your mixed colors and see if you can increase those pinks or reds. That's still okay in nature. You're not changing anything. You're just doing kind of like saturating lights and darks, and that's it.
Thanks. Number 8.
Hey, Tammy, are you able to zoom it in a little bit above the top of the wing? See above the top of the wing, and go down, there's some kind of fuzziness right there,
Right here.
uh, above the wing in the leaves. I don't know what that is. Um,
Is it
so
noise?
I'm not sure. It looks like it might have been something that was either softened or removed. I would just pay attention to those blurry spots like that. Get a little bit more detail in the feathers. And then let's see. The white at the base of the neck, it looks like it lost a little bit of detail, and I would try flipping it horizontally, because I've always been told that an animal looking in towards the left is a little bit more confrontational than looking towards the right. But that's just something I've heard.
Hmm. Nice.
But it's good. I like it. It's a beautiful, beautiful bird.
Thanks, Carrie.
And I'm number 9.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a beautiful image. I like the tight crop. In fact, the suggested cropping the bottom off and a little off the top would actually bring more attention to the eye and beak area, which is the strongest part of the image. It's a beautiful shot. I do think that if you play around with your highlights and your whites, sometimes you can bring the details out of what's a little overexposed. I would play with that and go with it. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, the little pink feathers coming off its chest, I think that's part of their breeding plumage because I noticed a lot of that today with the rosettes. They have a hanging pink hairs around their breast area like that.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Debbie?
10.
Nice image. I think it's a little sharp, little soft all the way around, unless it's just my eyes. Um, I think that if you were entering it in competition, the judge probably would take away from the fact that those front feathers are not totally in focus. And I think that I'm not sure about cutting off all those feathers. I mean, if that's the way you wanted it, that's fine. But I think the whole bird might have been better if you could have gotten it. But it's a great image, but it's soft.
Thank you, Miss Debbie. We'll go on to the next one. And Thomas says he wants to pass, so we'll start with number 2.
Which is me. Let's see. Let me take a look.
He's a favorite.
You muted, Parry.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
I think that I would crop off the wagon wheel. I think they're too much in the center. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but I think it's a nice image. I guess I'm just drawn to looking at that wagon wheel, but maybe just clipping that off. Uh, that's really all that I have.
Okay, thank you. Number 3, which is Billy.
Yeah, there's a lot of colors in it. I like that, and it's crisp. Um, but like she just said, you don't. I mean, it's obviously you see the couple, but you also see the gate, the greenery, three-quarters of the wagon wheel. I, the image itself leaves you to a lot of options. Um, if you could have in frame pan to the left a little, got the whole wagon wheel and left of the empty space on the right hand side of the gate, there would be that shot. You could actually uh, eliminate the wagon wheel, crop into just a couple, uh, and even, of course, it might be too far away just to get them waist high to the top of their heads, because the image is really about them. It looks like an engagement photo or something to that nature, but overall, it's a nice image. Um, I, I don't know why her boots appear darker. It might have been a lighting issue. Well, actually, yeah, okay. The whole bottom quarter of the image has been darkened. Okay, I guess that's intentional. So never mind that. So that's about it.
Thanks. Number 4.
All right. Um, the guy and the girl to me look like they were pasted into the background. Um, to me, they it doesn't look like a natural background to me. I don't know if that's a backdrop or uh but yeah, to me the guy and girl look like they were pasted, and I don't like that they're centered. I I would like to have seen them moved over to the left next to the wagon wheel, and all the rest of that uh, space uh, cropped off, even off the top and then off the right side, if you were to move the couple over to stand next to the wagon wheel. You also can't see any of his face. Um, So, yeah, for me, I would like to see, even if it were a profile of his face, I like to see that. Uh, okay, that's my opinion. That was a lot, I know, but
Thank you. Number 5, Tammy.
Okay. I agree with everything everyone said. I do think his hands are a little awkward. Um, and I feel like the background's a little too bright, but and around the edges is a little too dark. So that's my input. That's all.
Thanks. Number 6, Mike.
Okay, had to unmute. Guy, I really like this photo, but it's got such great potential. I think that the background looks like a painting. It's so well done with the depth of field and the fall off of the light. I do agree with everybody that perhaps the maker needs to consider what's the subject, the wagon wheel or the young couple, and I would crop all that out. But a judge is going to tell you take 2 steps to the right so we can see his face. But you know that's probably a little bit of drawback. I'm not a great people shooter, in fact, but I like the light drop off that it goes dark around them. I think crop this thing in tight or go vertical with the shot instead of horizontal would be my advice. But it's really crisp and very well focused, and I think a lot of potential with that cute couple there.
Thank you, sir. Number 7.
I like the photo. I agree with most. It needs to be cropped. That wagon wheel, they need to crop almost, to like a foot behind the guy to where it makes them the focus point. The background's nice. Yeah, usually, your brightest part, your eye goes to it first, but it's a really pretty, it's done, it doesn't have any detail. It's blurred. And maybe brighten up the couple towards the bottom just a little bit more. But cropping, I think, and from cropping in from the left closer to the male would make a significant change in the image to where your focus is based on the couple. Because my eye keeps going back to that wheel.
Okay, so is that it, Mel? All right, number 8.
Okay, I think it should be vertical print, a portrait print, not horizontal. I really love the framing of the trees. And for me, same thing, hand placement of the guy. That was the first thing that caught my attention. That weird thing he's doing on her hip. And just tone down the background just a little bit because it competes with her hair, her face, and his hat. But yeah, that's a great image. It looks like light painting almost.
Carrie, Julie, number 9.
Okay, I pressed my space bar and it didn't unmute me. I'm sorry. So I like almost everything about this image, although I don't think all of it together, the way it is right now, creates a strong outcome. The background is a fabulous background, and I always love a fence in a portrait. Um, I kind of agree with most everyone's opinion of the wagon wheel being a little distraction. And of course, their hands, sometimes you can't control that. But like Carrie, kept holding my hands over it to crop it. And I think a portrait crop um, would give it just a little more impact, although I do love an environmental portrait as well. So nice job.
Thanks, Julie. Number 10.
I agree with everybody, everything that they've said. I would definitely do a vertical crop, and I would make sure that the top of it, of his head, shouldn't, when you crop it, take off a lot of the top and then make it vertical. I agree that the boy should be turning a little bit more where we can see at least the side of his face or his nose. And the only other thing I would do, well, I would reduce, if you put a vignette on there, lighten it, and maybe add a little bit more to the canvas at the bottom of it so that they're not so close to the edge of the frame. That's it. But it's very pretty.
Righty, so on to the next one. Okay, and we're going to start with number 2.
I'm here. Let me just see.
That's fine. Take your time.
I think that I would have cropped this image to have maybe just one of the flowers. So that way it'll draw your attention to the pretty color of the flower and maybe add a little bit more shortness. Because the seems like maybe the flower on the left might be a little bit sharper than the one on the right. And I think that's the one that I would use is the one on the left side. I would crop and just because to me the one on the right with the bud and everything just kind of it's too much distraction. I think that I would crop and just do that one that's on the left, and then make the um, flower like pop a little bit more. Maybe make the flower just a tad bit brighter than. Um, but it's very. I love the color of that flower. It's such a pretty color. Um, that's the suggestion that I would have. But it's very pretty.
All right, thank you. We go to number 3, Billy.
Okay, now I'm unmuted. Yeah, I like to me, the flower on the left looks a little soft, but I'm on a small screen. I couldn't get my computer to work. Um, yeah, it looks like the one on the right is real sharp, but I agree with her. The bud is a distraction. Um, yeah, that's a good idea. I don't know if maybe if I cropped if cropping it to the make it a portrait and leave the branch connected to the left flower, getting rid of everything on the right. Maybe that would uh, help too. And I don't know what that bright yellow thing is in the back, but anyway, that's about it. It is. I like all the colors.
Thank you. Number 4.
Okay. I kind of like the idea of cropping the right half of the picture off as well. I would like to see the greens desaturated somewhat, especially the yellow base of the flower, I guess you would call it, the bright yellow. Uh, because my eye keeps being drawn to that bright yellow. The pink too, maybe is just a tad oversaturated, and it's a very pretty image. I like the pinks mixed with the greens, but just so that one pink flower would stand out, I would desaturate the green to a certain extent and fix that yellow, the yellow base of the flower for sure.
Thanks, Miss Lynette. Number 5.
So I think also I would crop and only have the one flower. I would suggest maybe using something to diffuse the light, um, like one of those what do you call it? Like the reflector, but it has the white to make the light softer,
Yeah.
and maybe crop out the top corner, and then that one little flower that's very bright in the top middle. You could probably clone that out. Um, yeah, that's all I have.
Number 6, Mike.
I pretty much agree with what's been said. I keep my eye actually bounces from the yellow at the top left to the brighter green leaf at the bottom right, and then the one in the middle. So I think it looks like like the maker tried to shoot with off-camera flash because you see the big shadow right there in the middle. But I like the idea of going down to one, and then if you have a chance to shoot this plant again, I would. It almost looks to me like the leaves are in focus at the top left, but not the flower itself. So maybe just double check that focus point. Probably because your depth of field gets really easy to miss that margin if you're shooting like f4, f2.8, or f1.8. You probably got like a quarter of an inch depth of field. So anyway, I like the picture. I like the flower. Please don't show it to my wife, or I'll be having my bill at Lowe's go up.
Okay. Number 7, Melanie. Okay. I like the colors. I think it was a great concept with the cactus flowers. I think choosing one flower and then darkening your background, because there's a lot of lights and darks and lights and darks in the background, so they're competing against with the flower. So you need to probably darken your background, take out the distracting, especially like the yellow object at the top, almost centered as a lighter green flower with a little pink bud. It's, remember, your eye always goes to the lightest object in a picture. So you see the flower, but then you keep going back to the light things. So, and when you have too many light and dark things in the background, it can be distracting. So you need to darken your background so it keeps your eye focused more on the flower. But I think it was a great idea, great concept, and I would focus on one flower since the leaves are going in different directions so that you can keep your focus centralized.
Okay,
Number
number
8.
8. That would be me. Okay, so I agree with everybody. I think that's a beautiful plant. I've never photographed one like that. Um, I would crop the lower left, just that one flower, and clone out the little distracting buds in the background. And if y'all do use Photoshop, maybe use the adjustment brush and try to lower down some of the bright spots, and bring in a little detail in that beautiful flower. But it's nice and sharp, It's just other people said, there's so many competing elements, and I think if you focus on one, um, you know, it'll be a much more impactful image.
Okay, I think I'm number 9, so I guess it's my turn. That is beautiful. That looks like a Christmas cactus, if I'm not mistaken. And I've never seen a pink one. My mom has the red ones. Um, it's a nice photo. I do also think there is a lot competing for your attention in this image. Um, the way the flower on the left is attached to the leading line of leaves makes me think that would be a good one to keep and maybe get rid of the bloom on the right side and somehow darken the background some, just so there's not a lot of distractions pulling your eye away from the beautiful pink bloom. Nice work. Hey, Debbie.
Pass. Oh, pass.
I don't hear you. Oh, you pass. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go to the next one.
Hey, can I ask, are the people who submitted the images, are they on to where they can hear their critiques, or how will they know if they're not here
Uh,
tonight?
um, well, we recorded it, and I would think they would be curious enough to listen to the
Okay.
critiques. I'm not sure. I just know it's anonymous, so we don't really know whose is who.
Well, no, that's what I mean though, is if they have images submitted tonight and they're not on, how would they get the critiques? So it's being
We're
recorded.
It's
recording the
being
whole thing.
recorded.
Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
yes.
Wouldn't it be fun for somebody like just because okay, we got this critique, so I'm gonna change a picture that I heard everybody talk about, and then I want to put it in the group just to show y'all what I did.
That would be fun. If you
That
feel
would,
up
if
to it, do
somebody
it.
wants to do
Yeah.
that, yeah, I think if they don't, if they want to share, I think that would be pretty cool later on. If you feel like
Yeah.
if you feel up to it,
I
yeah.
think that's a great idea.
Well, that's a great idea.
Okay, so we are number 2.
Okay. I would crop some off the top. That way the birds would be more like, in the third part of the picture. And I would make the birds pop a little bit more. Um, maybe make them a little. I mean, it looks like there's good detail in all the feathers and all that. It's not like overly, um, and what do I know? But anyway, it's not overexposed. You can see the detail of the feathers. Um, and that's what I would do. I'd add like a little bit more contrast to where the birds pop more from the rest of the picture, and I would crop from the top. So that way the birds are more the top third. Their eye is more like at the top third of the image. But I think it's a really nice capture. I mean, like I said, the maker did a good job as far as like the detail and the feathers and all. That's what I have.
Mr. Billy, number 3.
The only thing I would like to change, I don't even know if you can, it might be an f-stop thing, but the greenery ahead of the birds, it would be nice if that was sharp too, but then it may take away from the actual subject, the birds, because the birds are beautiful. Um, but that's about it. Maybe come down from the top a little bit, but I kind of enjoy the filling of the frame with lush, especially lush greenery. And that's all I got.
Number 4, Miss
Okay,
Lynette.
number 4. Yeah, I think it's a really beautiful image. The birds to me are spot on. I think just by listening to uh, judges uh, when they're judging the nature, I think the judge would say to get rid of that tree on the
Yeah.
left side. Uh, and maybe a little bit off the top, but the overall colors in the picture are just phenomenal. I think it's beautiful.
Hey, Amy.
Oh, okay. I'll pass on that one.
Okay. Number 6, Mr. Mike.
First of all, great job. Those eyes of the birds are sharp, sharp. That's terrific. And you can see a lot of detail in the wings. I like the way the greenery frames everything. I would I would just think maybe about getting bold with that crop from the left and come right on in to where you're almost even you might even go to where you're barely showing any wings of the bird on the left. Get that tree out because that's kind of first of all his part of his wing from behind the tree is really kind of like feels a little awkward. Like why is that? What is that? But if you focus either go real tight or come out more and show the whole environment. But great job. That's a super, super shot and hard to get because I got a feeling these birds were back up in the shade and it was pretty tough.
Thanks, Mike. Melanie,
Melanie.
number 7.
Okay. I think the exposure's right on. Everything's the coloring, the saturation and everything. I think just crop. I would crop from the left in, like either halfway through the tree, or I would go just right after that tree on the left. And that's it.
Number 8, me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I would definitely crop into the action, get rid of the front distraction of the leaves that are not focused. Um, it looks like the trees in the background are straight, but the ones in the front are a little off. So I think that tight crop, like right behind the head of the adult egret, focusing in on that action would be good. But the exposure is great. The focus is great. I would just tight crop.
Thanks, Carrie.
Number 9 would be me.
Yes, ma'am.
I think the tree cutting the bird's wing in half is a distraction, but mostly that big green branch is a distraction. Um, Probably try to clone that branch some, but cloning the whole tree out might be a bit of a stretch. I think the rest of the image is beautiful. The focus is great. The details are nice, and I just love that dreamy green background. That's all I have. Oh, wait, I want to say one more thing. Can I say one more thing?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to say one more thing about the trees that lean. Okay, so you can't always judge a tight wooded area by a one leaning tree because sometimes the nest leans and sometimes only one of a bunch of trees will lean. And I found myself in a pickle a few times, not knowing which way to adjust it because it always seems off. But that's what you
Uh,
got with nature.
Same here. Me too. Especially at Kazan Lake. It's crazy with those trees.
Mhm. Okay, I'm done.
All right. I agree with what everybody said. And one of the reasons that you need to crop down from the top is if you look in the top left, that light brown right to at that corner to me is a little bit distracting. It's a shame for you because it is such a nice picture that green over the bird is there. If it wasn't, you'd have a winner. But it is a very good picture.
Thank you. Let's move to the next one. I'm assuming Mr. Thomas is going to pass. So number 2.
So let's see. Tell you what, to get these shots at night are very difficult. That's great that these girls are, I don't see much noise in these images. Um, I would concentrate, I think, more like the girl on the left, that number 21. I don't know if she's really needed in this photo. I would um I would concentrate more on the players to the right and the girl that's on the ground. I guess that'd be kind of hard to crop that
You
number
can't.
21 out. No, you won't be able to. Um, I don't know. I think it's great just like it is. Maybe just maybe straighten out. I know the line, but the horizon and the oh shoot might be off a little bit. Like it might not be quite straight, but I think it's great. That's just my opinion. I think it's good. It's a good action shot, and it looks like they're all in focus, and even their feet are crisp. Um, I think it's great.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Number 3.
Well, it's a great shot. Yeah, it's hard to get nighttime images to come out that crisp. Thankfully, it looks like the stadium was well lit. The only changes I would make is I'd come up just a little ways on the bottom, crop up a little to get rid of the fuzzy, the out of focus grass, and just enough down from the top to get rid of the white letters on the sign. I don't think you could get all the way down to the bottom of the sign to eliminate it. But maybe crop down and then clone out the rest of the sign. Um, Other than that, great shot. Great shot.
Or
I
Mr.
think,
Matt.
okay, I think this would probably be a PJ shot. Uh, it's definitely, I mean, you can see that expression on her face, and it looks sharp. You wouldn't be able to clone anything out. The white line that's in the grass, I'm not so sure that I wouldn't straighten that out to make it look like the picture's not leaning to the left. But I think it's a really nice shot. and there's a lot of good things about it. Just that white line is something that jumps out at me, and you could easily crop out some of that grass in the foreground. It doesn't really add anything to the picture. I'm done.
Yeah, I also agree with the cropping from the bottom and a little bit off the top. It's a really good. I really love this, and I don't think you can't crop the people out because it wouldn't work. I would leave it like that and maybe just take a little bit off the bottom and a little bit off the top. And if perhaps you have the original was wider, then maybe you could straighten out the white line. But I don't even know. That doesn't bother me. But I think that's a good one. I like it. That's all I have.
Thanks, Mr. Mike.
It is so difficult to shoot at night and to get a good solid focus, and that's just a really good job of that. All their faces are in focus and their lettering on the uniforms. I agree with a couple earlier about cropping. At the very least, crop the white lettering off the top, and then maybe the out of focus grass in the bottom. It is a little off. Even though it looks level. You get parallax errors when you're from a certain distance and there's lines going weird ways. So this one needs to be tipped a little bit, bringing the left side up and the right side down. Uh, Otherwise, they kind of look like she's diving uphill and they're running downhill towards her, if you kind of can picture that. But it's very minor. I mean, it's really close. Um, and then the other thing I would say if you want to get really aggressive, think about what is the subject of this shot and what makes it an impactful PJ image. It's a grimace on the goalie's face.
Mhm.
So you could crop way in and just have enough of that player in the white coming in. Now you have to be careful not to clip her at a joint, like an ankle or a knee. But if you took that in and got that goalie to where maybe you were only seeing, oh, let's say like her part of her right thigh and knee and yellow bottom to her uniform, and then come down and crop all the way down to the top of the heads of these two girls on the right. If it doesn't get weird on you and get noise and introduce from cropping that tight, it might be a really dynamic image. But what you've got is really good. Just minor adjustments, a little bit of cropping and leveling would do fine as well.
Number 7, Melanie. Thanks, Mike.
Okay. I agree. I would crop some off the foreground, the grass that's a little bit blurry. I would bring it up and try and see if you can straighten that white line a little. Like I said, I don't know if this is the full image, whether you have some more landscape on the left, because when you straighten, of course, something will usually get cut out, like the girl on the right, she's going to start leaning to the right, and the girl on the left, well, she'll just come up. But if you can't, cut off the white at the top and crop up from the bottom. Otherwise, a good image shows emotion. Great PJ.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everybody too. It looks like you try to the maker try to center the photo on the sign in the background. I would maybe try to level the picture with the fence line and see how that looks. But whenever I first saw this image, it looked like the goalie's head was in the side of a pole. Um, so I would have maybe, tried to move a little bit so that she wasn't in line with the pole. But that's a great shot. Yeah.
Okay. I think it's my turn, huh? I'm after Carrie. Um,
Yes.
so it is a great PJ image. The amount of sharpness and the way that it has no noise is amazing to me for a nighttime shot. I think her grabbing the ball and her face is the main part of the story. So I also agree about trying to get rid of the blurry bottom and the top part of the pole, but it's a strong PJ image. And the goalie's definitely the star of this picture. Good job.
Thanks, Julie. Debbie? Miss Debbie, it's your turn. She's still here? Did she leave?
I'm talking, and I didn't know I was muted. I was just rattling on. Okay,
Sorry.
let me start over. That's my fault. Uh, I said I think it's a great PGA image. I agree with what everyone said. However, I don't think. I mean, I wish number 21 was way far away down the field. She wasn't even in the picture, and then you could really go in there and do what you needed to do to make a winning image. But 21 kind of messes you up. So great image, I think. I just don't know whether you're going to be able to fix it. You can try.
Righty, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, let's go to the next one. Number
I'm
two.
here. I'm here. I'm
Yeah,
just,
when you're
it's
ready.
kind of hard. It's kind of hard being first because
I know. Take your time. You don't have to rush.
it's very interesting. Um, I think I would have added, like, if you're gonna put lights like that in the back, I maybe would have put a little bit more. You know, like how there's an area where there's some missing lights. I don't know how this was created, so I mean, it may be just that's how it. I don't know that you could fix that or not, but I think it's missing maybe a few more like lights to bring a little bit more light. Um, I think the bottle would look more interesting if it was all lit up, like brighter. Um, but it looks like it's very sharp. Um, and the little lights are very crisp, you know. That's pretty much all that I have.
Number three.
Well, I agree with her. A little more of the Christmas lights um, in the background. Um, Maybe crop down just a tiny bit from the top, unless you fill it in with lights, and then it would the composition would still be proportional. Um, as far as critiquing, I don't know. The bottom third of the bottle looks like it has a third amount of water, or it could be the way the light is hitting it. I don't know. It's kind of confusing. It just doesn't look to me as sharp and well defined as the top two-thirds of the bottle. But other than that, a great image. I would like to see the bottle, uh, especially that bluish color, pop out, stand out a little, just a tiny bit more. But it's still well balanced. Very nice shot there. That's all I got.
Okay. I really like this image. And when I first looked at it, I said, well, I would crop all that negative space on the left side, but at the bottom of the image, you have the two lights, one on each side, which balances, to me, it balances the picture. I don't think a few extra fairy lights in the background to fill in that negative space would hurt the image, but I really like it. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I agree. I love this kind of stuff, and I call these like how to waste half a day because I could spend like if I had more time, I could spend hours and hours just playing around with this kind of stuff. Um, it looks cool. I do agree that it could have a little bit more lights behind it, and maybe even like darken those two spots on each side of the bottle on the background if you could. I think I'm kind of covering my hand. I think it would look better if the whole background was solid black. And that's all. That's all I got. That's really cool.
I'm thirsty now. I wish I knew how to do this kind of photography. It's really good. I think everybody said the same. I might consider cropping a little bit off the top and maybe an inch off the left. And then those two little white bokeh balls or lights or whatever they are that are about midway in the bottle, I would darken those out or clone them out or something because my eye keeps going to those two spots versus the whole image overall. But other than that, what an interesting photo.
Okay, number 7, Melanie. I like this image. I agree with someone said earlier, I would darken the um, bottom, the background, just a little bit darker. And there are two light images of lights that are a little bit lighter than the rest. And I would go ahead and clone those out. But other than that, I think it's a great image. I like how it looks. Next, number 8.
I'll pass.
Okay, it's me. I'm number 9. Um, I like this image. Um, Perhaps more lights would be just fine, but it's gives you a sense of wonder when you see just a few little lights. And I like how they're not completely balanced. I like the slightly off balanced look of it. Um, it almost looks like fireflies. And it almost gives me an otherworld feel at the bottom, like it's an alien light source that's lighting the bottom of that bottle, creating the two little spots on the sides. Probably because I watched a sci-fi movie the other night. Great image, looks good. Debbie, your turn.
I don't want to keep it unmuted, and I'm muted, and I can't unmute it. Um, Julie, I thought the same thing about the space thing. Looked kind of like space. What did you call it? And then
I was saying it
sci-fi.
reminded me a little bit like a alien or otherworldly.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. It's an interesting, very good image. But thought that same thing. I'm done.
Right. On to the next one. Whenever you're ready, number 2.
Okay, let's see. I would just kind of off center the bird a little bit, like maybe crop off either like flip it if they, I don't know if it's more interesting if their head's the other way, maybe just flip it around either way, like the backside, maybe, don't cut off the bird in the back, but bring it in a little bit. Um, and maybe just kind of wait until the bird turns a little bit more if you can, or reposition yourself so you can see the eye of the bird. Um, y'all have me now checking out eyes all the time. So I've been looking for the eyes. um, and just maybe just a little bit more contrast where the bird stands out from the water. But it looks like it's nice and sharp, a lot sharper than what I could get. So good job. That's all I got.
Thanks. Number 3, Mr. Billy.
Yeah, man, I love the way the bird pops. The colors are really popping on it. The only thing I would change, well, like she said, if the head was turned just a little and you can see the eye a little more, but I mean, uh, the only thing I would have panned to the left a little more to where the circles in the water would have completely been in frame instead of cropped off on the left, and the bird would have been in the more towards the right of the image. Uh, but that's it. I like it. I like it.
Okay. I really like the movement of the water, the circle, and the water drops that are falling from the bird's beak. The bird looks very sharp. There's a lot of nice detail in the brown feathers. However, I don't think it would make a good nature shot simply because of the fact the judge is not going to be able to see the bird's eye. Um, other than other than that, uh, if you could just spin the guy around where you can see his face, it would be a really awesome image. But I think that one thing, not being able to see its eye, would not score well with a judge. I'm done.
Yeah, I agree also. It does look very sharp. I do love the pattern in the water and the water droplets. I do think that a judge would definitely not score it well because you can't see his eye. So I always try to get at least like for people and for animals, the eye is probably one of the most important things that you can see the eye and that it's sharp. But again, and this would also make a cool black and white, I think, um, because of the patterns in the water and everything. But it's a shame that he didn't turn a little, or he or she didn't turn a little bit. Um, but other than that, I think that's all I have.
Tammy Roban, can you blow it up just a little? It seems to me that the eye might be there. It's just the black band around this bird's eye makes it hard to see the contrast of his eye. I think it is, right? Yeah. If you look, scroll down now to where well, on my screen, I don't see the eye anymore. I see his mouth. Yeah, right
Yeah.
there. I could be off. I mean, all you could do is take a brush and mask and maybe lighten that part, hoping to get a little catch light out of him. The only other thing I saw, I agree with Billy, was the circles. If you had any room left in the photo to pick up the edge of those circles, it's a really good shot. The exposure's good. You got the feather detail. Um, Judges are going to want to see the eye, but sometimes those birds just they get shy and they want to look the other way on you. But but a really good shot. That's all for me.
Thanks.
Okay, number seven, Melanie. I agree. You can crop in a little from the right side towards the bird. Ideally, it would have been a better shot. It's not a bad shot, it's a good shot. If the bird's face was facing a little more towards the camera, so you can see, almost a full profile, so you can see more of his eye, because he's turned away from you slightly. Um, but other than that, it's great detail on the bird. Um, so it's just something to keep in mind, just wait until the bird turns his head and then snap that shot. Um, but it's a good shot, great detail.
I agree with everybody. Um, the lighting is just perfect. The feather details perfect. Whenever Tammy zoomed in, it almost looks like you could see a water bubble in the mouth of the bird. Um, great shot. But like, I had a judge tell me one time, butt shots almost never win, but it's a fantastic photo. Yeah, I would have been hunting lots of birds that day with that color light.
Thanks, Carrie. Um, it is a very nice image. The light and reflection on the water and the reflections on the water droplets, which I love those water droplets, are handled very well. The exposure, the detail on the feathers, everything about the image is great. If he could only look at the camera a little more. And how many times have I said that? If you've ever shot with me, you would hear me talking to the birds because I'm that girl. But great shot. Just have patience for the bird to look at you. That's all I got.
I agree with everything that everybody said about the bird facing in the eye. I just have a question. I'm not a nature shooter, but is there enough action in this for if the bird were turned right and everything was perfect for it to do well in nature? Is there enough action? And that's a question I want to ask for myself.
Well, yeah, it would depend on what it's going up against. There's movement in the water and water droplets. So apparently it was feeding or drinking, but you really it's all about what you're going up against. If there's a big action shot that you're competing with or not. So you're competing with yourself, but you're competing also with whatever else people entered that month in competition.
Okay, well, that answers it. Thank you, Julie.
You're welcome.
And I'm done.
Go on to the next one.
I'm here. I'm looking. I think this one's cropped well. I like how you can see the droplets on the flower. Looks nice and sharp. That flower almost looks like it would be stone, like a stone flower. It's very pretty. Um, for me, for my preference, I find that the petals at the bottom maybe are a little bit too dark, that there should be like a little bit more. It looks like this is maybe like some, I'm guessing, I'm acting like I know, but I don't really know. Like this light that looks like there's a light that's shining on the flower. I think it just maybe needs to be turned maybe a little bit. Um, I guess, but it looks like, I mean, it may be just that person's style, but for my preference, I just would like the flower to be a little bit brighter at the bottom. But other than that, it's nice and sharp. And to me, it looks like it's cropped well. That's all I got.
Yeah, I guess there would be two schools of thought on that. Uh, you could make the bottom a little brighter, but maybe the intent was to have the top being dominant over the bottom. And I don't know. I can hardly critique this. Number one, it's not my style of photography. And well, I don't have the experience either, but man, it's a beautiful shot. Everything's in focus. Um, I I can't add anything to this, so we'll move on to the next person.
Okay. I really like the shot. It's a really nice macro. The water drops are not only in focus, but they're reflecting the light. I do like that the light source added to the top right and that it's on the correct side of the flower. And I kind of, just for my preference, I like the contrast between the dark bottom and the lighter top. I think the crop is excellent. I don't think it could be cropped any better than it is. And that's all I have.
Okay, yeah, I agree with all of that. I really like this, and it looks sharp everywhere. The only thing that a judge might say is that the stem doesn't look to be sharp, and it could be my eyes. Um, but everything else is like super sharp, and I do like the light coming in from the right side. Um, and maybe put a little bit brighten up the petal at the bottom. The two petals on the bottom could maybe be brightened a little bit, but other than that, I think it's really cool. And that's all.
I don't have anything I can critique of this shot. It's a fantastic shot. I think you got everything well focused. The stem might be a touch soft, but boy, that's really nitpicking for me. I like the suggestion of the light source with the brighter circle radiant radial filter you use, radial gradient. But yeah, great shot, great black and white. Wish I had that kind of talent.
Okay, my turn. I think it's a great use of black and white for an image. Um, I really don't have any comments. Maybe the stem, um, maybe just if it's not in focus, maybe darken it a little so that it doesn't have, so it's not as bright, even though the light's coming in on that side, but you might just want to tone it down just a little bit, bring the highlights down just on that side so it's not as bright. But other than that, I think the crop, the composition, it all looks good.
For me, I love the image. I think it's great, nice and sharp throughout. At first, I thought it was artificial light that you had put in as an overlay, but whenever she zoomed in, it looks like I could see the reflection of maybe the umbrella. Um, and the only thing I would have done was maybe use like either a radial gradient or a linear gradient on the uh, left side of the petals where they're dark, just to give them a little bit of separation on that middle petal going out towards the left. That's it, but that's a great shot.
I'm gonna pass.
Um, Miss Debbie.
Tapped on me. Okay, I'm gonna leave. My husband's got the TV set on, so I'm keep muting it. I agree with what everyone said. It is a nice image. I agree that some of the bottom petals maybe need to be lightened a little bit. In my opinion, I'm not sure that that bright light on the side helps the image. I'd have to see it without it. And I don't know that the water drops help either, because I think it would be pretty just all by itself. Great. It's great like it is, but I would have not done that with the light and the water droplets.
Oh, were you finished, Miss Debbie?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is it.
Let me see. Think, let me see. I think for me, because the water in the middle was so pretty, I think I would crop the bottom part off. Um, I would crop the bottom part off and maybe just make the water, um, since it's in the center, like make it more the focal point, maybe kind of add some contrast between the water and like the mountains on the side, but it looks nice and short, very pretty. That's all that I have.
I'll pass on this one.
Okay. I'm assuming that's a glacier uh coming down the valley, end up in that water. Um, I'm thinking maybe some more contrast are just beautiful. I just wonder if the scene, those beautiful shades of blue, um, and that's all.
I'm not hearing who's talking.
Yeah, I was
Thank you,
going to
me
say the
either.
same. Okay. Yeah.
Lynette, we couldn't hear you. Lynette.
She might have lost her internet.
Yeah, we did. She just popped off.
Can we see more?
Okay. I agree about the cropping. I think you should crop out the water at the bottom and maybe lower, like reduce the highlights because it does seem kind of bright. Um, I don't know, maybe even crop off some of the top.
Yeah.
Also could make an interesting looking black and white, even though I guess is that water? I don't even know what that is. I'd like to go there and experiment with all kinds of things because that looks really cool. That's it.
I think this is probably Iceland or Glacier National Park, one of the two. It's hard. That's definitely a glacier with the blue ice. The only thing
Oh,
I would give a try, I mean, go portrait with this thing with the crop and crop off some of the sides of those mountains and bring all your attention into the glacier. That would be my only suggestion for you.
okay. I say bring the crop, the bottom, bring it up to where that little first peninsula of grass starts to come out. And like that, it has a leading line to where water's coming in on the left, goes up through the middle and goes up to that glacier, or the glacier's coming down. Also, white balance. I would play with the white balance just to see, make sure I understand it's blue and it looks those colors when you're in Glacier National Park, but there's a lot of blue in there, so I'm not sure, when you have greens and you have blues, I would just check your white balance and maybe just double check your whites and your blacks, maybe your blacks, maybe just play around and see if just a little bit more saturation, but I would first check your white balance.
I agree with Melanie. I would go up to the peninsula. I would check the white balance because the blues and the greens compete. And then maybe lower the crop from the top to where it's right above that V at the top of the mountain, so the focus is right in the middle. But that's a great shot.
What a beautiful shot. And it might just be Glacier National Park, and I'm headed there this summer. Um, it is gorgeous. I think the white balance needs to be checked. I agree with cropping off up into the peninsula, maybe coming down the sky some, and even coming in on the sides Maybe not a full portrait mode, but I would come in a little on the sides too. That is a beautiful image, and I'd love to be there right now. Great, great work.
Debbie.
I did it again. Okay. It looks to me like this might have been taken in Alaska as well. What I think needs to happen, because when you're in these climates, you've got to warm it up a little bit because everything is blue. If you go up there, every picture you take is going to be blue, 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 because that's what the atmosphere looks like up there. Um, I think it's got a lot of potential. There's a lot of things that you can do with it. The first thing I would do is I would go on YouTube and I would find a video of somebody that's demonstrating how to make a landscape image pop and follow the directions on it because you've got something good here. I just think it needs a lot more work. It needs a Lightroom. I personally would use Lightroom uh, to make it even better uh, because you've got a lot of potential. And I could tell you a million things to do, but it wouldn't make sense. And I probably wouldn't tell you right anyway. But I definitely would keep working on it and following a video if you have to see how to make it really great. Because it's good as it is, but you can make it great. I'm done.
Okay, thank you.
So we have another.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Anybody talking?
Pari,
Perry's studying the material, I think.
she's
I'm still here. I was looking. Um, I would say the impact of this image is the girl and the runner. So I personally would crop because that's the focus. To me, is the girl catching the ball and the runner. I mean, you can maybe leave. No, I would crop her out. I would just put those two in there. Um, and I would just say that the judge will tell you to get the girl, like to see her face, that you have the backside, that you need to get the action shot from the front. And that's it.
I personally like uh, if the flag on the flagpole can be in the shot. I would have liked to have seen the whole thing to the top of the flagpole and crop it from the right all the way to just a little bit from the flagpole, crop the bottom up, um, and of course that would enlarge the players. I like that all three of the players involved in the play are in there. I think taking out the first base person would I don't know. It adds, it tells you what the shot is about. They're trying to get this runner out. But other than that, yeah, I would definitely crop out the I don't know if that's the umpire or the coach there on all the way on the right and focus on the players themselves. Since the flag is not complete, you can crop it all the way back down, leave it in landscape mode, and and capture those three players. I think it's a nice action shot.
Okay. I would definitely crop off the coach. I would crop off just to the right of the little girl that's catching the ball. You could crop off to the bottom and the top and just focus on the three players that are in the picture. I don't think I would crop off the girl on the left-hand side. I'm thinking maybe she threw the ball to the girl on the base. But I think a judge is going to slam it because you can't see their faces. And that would be the one downfall. It does look sharp. The lighting is good. And I think you could crop it to death, and a judge is still going to score it low because you can't see their faces. And I'm done.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think you need to crop in and just focus on the players. Um, for me, like it's probably my eyes. It doesn't look like number 10 is sharp, but it could be. I would have to enlarge it, but I mean it is cool, and I like the way the player sliding has their arms up in the air and everything. I just do think that the judge would say they would rather like see the faces, but you can't always get the faces when you're shooting sports. But it's still a cool shot, but I would definitely crop it. That's it.
I agree with the cropping. The coach, umpire, whatever he is, doesn't add anything to your shot. Um, it's a good shot. It's tough at night. I think there's a play at second base based on, they play all different sizes and levels on the big field and move the bases around to accommodate. Uh, that red wall behind, I think, I know most people are going to say the pitcher's straight because the flagpole is straight up and down, and the other thing, but I think the horizontal is more to worry about, and that red building is kind of slanted, and I would maybe level it up more with the black fence horizontally. But yeah, I think you probably would have gotten more impact if you'd been on the other third base side shooting back towards second. But you don't always get to position yourself where you want to be. You just got to kind of keep moving, anticipate the action. Good job of that. And kudos to the players for going for that force out at second base. That, based on what looks like to be their age, that's pretty advanced level of play there.
Okay, I agree with majority of what everybody else said. It's a great action shot, captured well. I think it needs to be cropped in from the right, just past the flagpole, cropped down to probably middle of the score sign, and level it off using the red building in the back, straighten the horizon, using that as your straightening, and then just crop up from the bottom a little. And I think it would be a much better photo. Sit.
Same as Melanie. I'd crop in all the way to the catcher, but I'd crop down to the top of the red building and square it off with where you have just the three players. Um, and that would be it. But it's a great shot, nice focus, good action. Shame we don't have the face, but
Right. I agree with the tight crop would make more impact, and it's a great action shot. But those judges will definitely say, I wish we could see their faces. Good work.
I would crop even to the fence, even to the black fence, or to the either to the top of the red fence and make it level, or even to the short fence. I would completely cut the girl off on the left and the coach on the right, and just have those two because I like tight, close crop pictures myself. And anytime you have a sports picture, you need eyes and a ball. And if you don't have eyes in a ball, it's not going to do well in competition. However, I do think that it would be a winner if you could have been on the other side. But again, you can't always be that. It's great, but I like them tight. My 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We're going to move to the last one for tonight because we ran out of time. It's almost 9 o'clock. So I guess this will probably be our last one.
Okay. Let's see. Y'all always say to off center stuff, so I think that I would crop a little bit closer to the tail. Don't clip the tail off, but just don't put the bird exactly in the center. The eye looks good. Maybe it's a little bit blurry,
No.
but I like how the background's out of focus, like it's soft. I like how the background's soft. That's the only comments I have.
The only thing I would do is just crop it a little tighter. That's all. I agree that at least the feathers on the back look a little soft. But great shot. Great close up and keeping the bird in focus. But that's all I'd have done. Just crop it tighter in general. That's it.
I love the soft background and the sharpness in the bird's eye and the catch light. The head and the beak are definitely, and the wing in front seem to be pretty sharp. It looks like the lower part of his back is maybe some soft, a little soft, but is there it is there looks like without zooming in that there's a white line around the top part of the bird.
Yeah, try to make it a little bigger. Yeah, look right here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I see it.
There is an outline.
but yeah, now that you zoom in, you can definitely see that the top of the bird's back is out of focus. But the lighting is pretty. The eye is awesome. It's just that white line, and then the middle of the bird's back is out of focus. I'm done.
Okay, yeah, I agree with all of that. It's like a halo. I don't know. Sometimes when you sharpen, it can create a halo around the subject. So you always have to watch that. You could always sharpen it and like lower the opacity on the sharpness, maybe. And the only other little nitpicky thing is the very bottom, that little stick that's coming up in the foreground. I would crop that off. And that's something that there's so many times I've entered things and they had something like that I could have easily cropped and I never noticed it. So just that little thing, because everything else in the background is blurred, but that one little stick or twig or whatever it is, just crop that off. And that's it.
I'm with everybody and everything that was said. Thought I was going to be original and see that little stick down there, but Tammy beat me to it. Good job with a tough subject to get the eye to show in a black.
Okay, I find the blackbird, yeah. Like we said earlier, I think it's a little soft. I don't know if like it was noisy, and sometimes if you use topaz noise, It can cause things to be a little soft if it's too strong. And I agree, you need to crop off that sharp stick on the back, on the bottom right. The good side black details, but not as much as normally a judge would like to see in a black bird. Especially the back end of the bird, top left, looks a little soft.
Whose TV?
Debbie's up.
Oh,
Oh,
my
that's
TV.
mine probably. I guess it's mine. Let me.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Jesus.
Sorry.
Uh, okay, for me, yeah, I would crop up right below the feet, get rid of that white line going across. Um, Maybe tone down the top blue strip across the top. Uh, Crop tighter on the left towards the tail feathers, and leave a little bit more room in the front. Um, and everything else that everybody else said, I agree with.
Same. I think that the background being nice and blurred is very pleasing, helps the bird to stand out. And um, Tammy noticed a little stick. That's funny. I didn't see it till she said it, but I noticed the brighter sticks at the bottom. So if you tone down the highlights, and sometimes you have to mask it off with those little bright sticks. But it's a great image, and you managed to get the details in the bird to show. Nice work.
What kind of bird is that? Is that a blackbird?
Grackle,
Ah,
or maybe.
No,
Could
I'm
be
not even sure.
blackbird.
Where's Ken when you need him?
that's not a grackle, huh?
No, it's the
Uh,
tail. The tail don't. It's kind of hard.
yeah, so they have a shorter tail grackles and the longer tail, but that doesn't look like a grackle. And it doesn't look like an ordinary blackbird. I have no clue what it is.
Beautiful bird.
Pretty, pretty, pretty. Okay,
Yes.
Debbie, are you still with us, Deb?
It's a
Mm.
great-tailed grackle, according to my identifier.
Oh, it might be then.
Oh,
Uh-huh. Uh, Debbie still with us? Don't hear her though. Um,
She's
she might have had to step away from the computer. Um,
no, she's messing with
but
the mute.
oh, maybe she might be stuck on that. But so that this will be our final image, Tammy, because it's 9. Uh, Tammy, Roban. I think it's going to be our final image
Sorry.
because
Yes,
oh,
I
that's
was
okay.
muted. Sorry.
I figured y'all someone and maybe Debbie had to step away.
Yeah, it's almost 9. So I guess I just have a quick question before we go. I just curious what everybody thinks did y'all enjoy this? Would y'all like to do it again? I mean, we only went through 10 pictures. I think I still have several more.
I enjoyed it.
I think it was informative. I love how you get to get multiple people's opinion and see what they see because sometimes it's different than what we see. I enjoyed it.
I mean, it was fun. I was just curious, maybe we can do it again, do it again later on, not right away, but down the line.
Yeah, Ruth is asking in chats if someone can still critique the remaining images. Do you mean tonight or do you mean in the future, Ruth?
Ruth was on
Later,
vacation.
right? Yes, we can. The remaining images. Oh, Debbie's on chat too. The remaining images can be critiqued later. It can be done by a group of us, or we could figure out how
I
to do
think
it.
it's 4 left.
Yeah.
There's only 4 left. Oh no, 5. I don't think it's 5. I think there's 5. Yeah, this will be the last one. I mean,
Yeah.
if y'all want to stay and do just 1 or 2.
Tonight's kind of a lot. I have to get up early, but
Okay,
I think
that's fine.
she was meaning for later. So we can do another Zoom, or we can maybe
Like for next
discuss.
month too, we can save a little bit of time. So I mean, we only have five, and just get a couple critiques. We don't have to have everybody critique them, maybe.
Right, right, just a few people. That would be fun.
Right.
That's a good idea.
I could save those for this is where we will start. Yeah, the Blackbird was this, so we would start like on this one, the next round.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank
So
you so
maybe,
much for hosting, Tammy.
well, thank you.
Thank
It was
you.
fun. It was fun.
It was
Okay,
something
well,
different.
yes, it sure was. And I think it was a lot of fun. Thanks to everyone who joined in, and thanks for your comments. It's not always easy to even give your opinion.